Assalamu alaikum. This is Humaira Ijaz, Jana Science teacher, DHA Senior School for Girls. I have designed this lesson for first week of 9 Jana Science students. Okay, girls, first of all, congratulations for promoting to the new class. Okay, let's proceed to the subtopics which we are going to cover in this week one. As you all know, it is your second chapter, and the name of the chapter is Microorganisms and Diseases. Hopefully, you have read and well prepared the first chapter that is taught to you in class 8th. Okay, the subtopics to be covered in this week are microorganisms, a brief introduction of diseases and their spread, and we are going to discuss in detail one disease, that is tuberculosis. The number of written tasks which you are going to perform within the week and on your notebook are 2, and the number of weekend tasks which you are going to perform at the end of the week is 1. The estimated time of within the week tasks is 20 minutes each, while the time duration for weekend task is 30 minutes. And I hope so that you have bought your General Science journals. Do attempt these questions on your General Science journal in neat and clean handwriting, and I hope so you have not forgotten about making the index and writing date, day, and classwork. The objectives for this week are: by the end of this week, you should be able to predict the presence of microorganism, distinguish between healthy and sick individual, analyze the spread of tuberculosis, formulate scientific questions about the spread of diseases, plan ways to model and answer to the questions chosen, select and integrate information from various sources, including electronic and print resources, community resources, and personally collected data to answer the questions given. Communicate scientific ideas, procedures, results, and conclusions. Describe, evaluate, and communicate the impact of research and other accomplishments in treating the diseases. Okay, first of all, you must know what is a microorganism. A microorganism, in short form, it is called a microbe, is a microscopic organism which may exist in its single-celled form or in the form of a colony. In the form of single-celled form, you might have read about bacteria and virus in your previous class. They can exist in single-cell form, or some microorganisms can exist in the form of colony. They are grouped together, they are stick together, and there is division of labor in them. When they are existing in the form of colony, it means that some cells perform certain function while other cells perform the other function. They live in the form of a group of cells. Common examples of microorganisms are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. There are 5 basic groups of microorganisms: bacteria, fungi. You might have observed fungus growing on old piece of bread or some rotten fruits. Fungi could be yeasts or in the form of molds. Then there are viruses. Nowadays, I think so that you are quite familiar with a virus. A disease is spread nowadays due to which your school is also closed. This disease is also caused by a virus. Viruses are basically not living organisms. They spread diseases when they move inside the body of a living organism. Outside the body of living organism, they don't behave as living organisms. Then there are protozoa, and then there are algae. You also might know about algae. I think so. You have observed a green colored substance which grows on wet places. For example, if there is water sipping out of some pipe, or if you see the corners of a pond, you might have observed a green colored substance which grows over there, and that substance is slippery. The name of that substance is algae. Health basically depends on the food which you eat or the diet which you follow. You might have heard from your parents that you should eat healthy food, you should eat fresh fruits and vegetables, and you should eat a balanced diet. A balanced diet is a diet that contains all the nutrients which are essential for you. For example, in your diet, you must eat carbohydrates. Carbohydrates comes from chapati or rice. You must eat proteins. Proteins come from eggs and meat. You must eat fruits for vitamins, and you must eat certain vegetables for getting minerals. For example, spinach. It's also very common nowadays, and you must drink a lot of water to make you healthy. Then your health also depends on exercise. You must remain active to remain healthy. One of the best exercises is doing household chores. So, as a girl, when you perform household activities, when you maintain your house, or when you work in a kitchen, it's also a sort of exercise. Then family and friends play a very important role in maintaining a good, healthy environment. The people who are living alone, mostly they are depressed. So, for your physical growth as well as your mental growth, you must surround yourself with good friends, and your family also plays a very important role in making yourself healthy. The next factor which make you healthy is sleep. You must get around 8 to 10 hours of sleep. If you are sleep deprived, then your mind won't be able to think properly. And you might have observed that if you sleep late and then wake up early in the morning for going to school, you are almost impossible to concentrate on your studies. Sleep plays a very important role in maintaining your body functions as well as making your mind think clearly. Then the next factor is stress management. In our lives, everybody is stressed. There are many factors that contribute to stress, even your school, your education. It's also a form of stress if you don't follow the daily instructions which are given to you by your teacher. If you are not going to do homework at a proper time, then it will cause stress to you. Similarly, at your homes, if you don't perform the tasks assigned to you by your elders, you are definitely going to come under stress. And one more factor nowadays is the use of social media, for example, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. These social media sites are also causing stress in young generation because they see the lives of other people and think that they are lucky while they feel their own lives miserable, which is totally not right. So you must minimize the use of social media, while you should see the videos that deal with the positive aspects of life. For example, the videos of TED education, they are quite healthy for young students and young girls. Now, what is the proper definition of health? The condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, especially freedom from physical disease or pain. Now, you see that health has basically three aspects. One is your body. Of course, if you are not having any disease or you are not having any pain, then you are considered healthy. You all know about that. The second thing is the health of your mind. If you are able to think clearly, if you are cool minded, if you are able to take decisions on time, and if you are quite sound in your mind, then it means that you are healthy. The third type of health is your spiritual health. It is basically related to your religion. Now, health is generally Health generally means free from illnesses, diseases, injury, or pain, or the lack of physical fitness. Health can be defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. Social well being means that you are able to socialize with your fellow beings in a very good way. Healthy people are efficient at work, which increases productivity and brings economic prosperity. Economic prosperity means that if you are doing your work properly, if you are doing any job, and your work is up to the mark, then definitely you are going to be a part of economic prosperity. You are bringing money to that particular institute, and in turn, you yourself are also getting money for your family. Health increases longevity of people. Longevity of people means lifespan, and reduce infant and maternal mortality. It was stated later, mind influenced by neutral system, endocrine system, and immune system. Together, they affect health. Immune system means your immunity, the resistance against diseases, while the endocrine system means they are certain type of they are certain type of there are certain factors that affect health. The first factor is genetic disorders. Some people are born with diseases, deficiencies. A child born with deficiencies, defect child inherit. You might have observed in our society that there are certain children who are born with deficiency diseases. These diseases are basically genetic disorders. I hope so. You can give some examples of genetic disorders. For example, a very common genetic disorder is asthma. The second one is infections. Whenever you get infected from some other person or from the environment outside, they can affect your health. The next one is lifestyle. For example, the food you eat. If you will eat a food that is higher in sodium, or that food which is having higher value of fats, it is fried in impure oil, or basically all the categories of junk food, they are not at all good for health. And water, if you drink unhealthy water, if you drink a water that is not properly cleaned, that water will also cause diseases. Then if you are not taking proper rest, if you are not doing exercise, and if you are into some bad habits, for example smoking, then these also affect your health in a negative way. How can we achieve good health? We can achieve good health by eating fruits and vegetables. We can achieve good health by exercising. We can achieve good health by meditation. And we can get good health by making our lifestyle which is healthy. For example, a lifestyle in which we sleep for proper hours, not more than that, not less than that, and a lifestyle in which we remain active, and a lifestyle in which our sitting posture um, is correct, and a lifestyle in which we don't use electronic devices for a long time, a lifestyle in which we clean the environment which is present around us, because the cleanliness of the environment which is present around us plays a very important role in making ourselves healthy. So there are certain factors to achieve good health. I hope so you can think of some other factors which make yourself healthy. What are the characters of a good health? The characters of good health are that a person is free from sickness and diseases, a person is free from unnecessary anxiety, a person is free from social and psychological tensions, a person is self confident, a person feels joy in living, he is not bored person, he is not having suicidal thoughts, and a person is able to work efficiently at his best. These are the certain characters that show that a person is healthy. You might have observed some friends of yours which are in school, which who don't seem happy with their lives. If you probe, you will come to know that there is a certain factor that is creating disturbance in their lives. That must be some physical factor, that might be some mental factor or a spiritual factor. So, if you are healthy in physical aspects as well as in your mind, then you are able to live your life in a healthy way, and then you are able to feel joy in living. Disease is any condition which interferes with normal functioning of the body and impairs the health. Normal functioning of the body means that Allah Ta'ala has created our different body parts for performing certain functions. For example, our eyes are designed to see, while our ears are designed to hear. If we are not able to see properly, or if we are not able to hear properly, then it means that we are not healthy. In other words, a disease is an abnormal condition that affects the body of an organism. It is often construed as medical condition associated with specific symptoms and signs. There are certain symptoms and signs of every disease. For example, if you are not able to breathe properly, then might be you are having a disease of respiratory system. And if you are not able to digest your food properly, then might be you are having some issue in your stomach or your digestive system. So there are certain symptoms and signs, but sometimes, God forbids that there is no symptom and sign of a particular disease. In that case, the disease becomes dangerous because a patient will come to know about that disease when he would be affected a lot by that disease. One example of that disease is cancer. You might have heard that people come to know about cancer when it is in stage 3 or stage 4. In that stage, it is very difficult to cure. So, it is better that a disease is diagnosed through its symptoms and signs in the beginning. There are certain types of diseases. The first type of disease is congenial, while the second type of disease is acquired. Congenial disease is inborn disease and genetically inherited. It means that a particular person or a child gets that disease from his or her parents at birth. The person is affected. Out of these congenial diseases, there are certain diseases which are cured, while there are certain diseases which are almost unable to cure. Coming to acquired diseases, these diseases occur after birth and non-inheritable. For example, if you are having cough or if you are having any injury of hand or if you are having any hearing or eyesight issue, then that type of diseases are acquired diseases. They are not congenital diseases, and these diseases won't be passed to your next generation. Congenital diseases are sometimes due to gene mutation. Gene mutation means there is a change in your normal genes. For example, hemophilia or color blindness. Some congenital diseases are due to chromosomal mutation. For example, Down syndrome or Klinefelter syndrome. Now, acquired diseases. Communicable or infectious diseases, which are communicated through air, water, food, physical contact, or vectors. Bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungus, etc. are examples of vectors. These are microorganisms that carry diseases from one person to another person, and then they are non-communicable or non-infectious diseases. For example, deficiency disease, diabetes. degenerative arthritis, cancerous and allergic disease. Can you answer a very common disease which is prevalent nowadays, that is COVID 19? Is it a communicable disease or a non communicable disease? There are certain diseases which are common in humans. Any substance which causes disease by its excess or deficiency or absence is called a disease agent. Disease agent means an agent that is causing a disease. That could be due to its excess, that could be because of its deficiency, or that could be because of its absence. Organisms belonging to bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoans, which cause disease, they are called pathogens. Pathogens act as parasite. Parasite means they are not able to live on their own. They must attach themselves to some other organism for getting their food. So pathogens act as a parasite by living on in host and cause harm, that is disease. Mode of transmission or entry into the host is through different means. Once entered into host body, it multiply and interfere with normal vital activities, which results morphological and functional damage. Pathogens. What are pathogens? Pathogens that cause disease. They after entering into the host, adapts itself based on the environment. For example, pathogen entering gut should survive at low pH and resist digestive enzymes. If a pathogen would be able to survive at that particular environment, even then it should be able to survive in a long run. If it won't be able to adapt itself into that environment, it would be killed immediately. There are certain modes of transmission. For example, some diseases spread from human to human touching or remaining in contact, while some microorganisms are transmitted through air, while some microorganisms could transmit through drinking water, or some microorganisms could transfer from when you play with pets or when you are around some other organism. Common symptoms of a particular disease are loss of appetite, fever, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps. There are certain symptoms, but they are not common to all diseases. How can we prevent ourselves from diseases? Infectious diseases can be prevented through maintenance of personal and public hygiene. Personal hygiene means keeping your clothes and keeping your surroundings clean, while public hygiene means that when you are outside your home, your streets must be clean, the air must be clean, and when you are traveling through public transport, other persons which are present around you must be neat and clean. Diseases can be grouped as food and waterborne diseases, air diseases, or vector-borne diseases. Food and waterborne diseases are those diseases which are caused to a certain individual when they don't take proper food or when they don't take proper water. Proper personal hygiene includes keeping the body clean, consumption of clean drinking water, fruits, vegetables, and other eatables. Proper public hygiene, which includes proper disposal of waste and excreta, periodic cleaning and disinfection of water reservoirs, pools, and tanks, and observing standard practicing of hygiene in public catering. Common diseases which are spread through water and food are typhoid and ascariasis. Airborne diseases. Airborne diseases means that you get those diseases from air. Of course, the microorganisms which are causing that particular disease are present in the air. They are traveling through air or they are transmitted through air. That is why you get those diseases from air. Close contact with infected person and their belongings should be avoided. Personal hygiene is also very important to prevent diseases. Common example of airborne disease is pneumonia or common cold. Now, the vector-borne disease. Controlling or eliminating the vectors and their breeding places. It means that controlling or eliminating the vectors. Control means you are able to reduce their production because, of course, they grow and they cause diseases. So, the in order to prevent the diseases, you must eliminate or you must control uh, them and their breeding places. The breeding places are those places where they lay their eggs and their young ones are developed, and later on they grow up to the mature vectors, and these vectors then spread the diseases. Avoiding stagnation of water in and around residential areas, regular cleaning of household coolers, use of mosquito nets. Whenever you use mosquito net, you are able to stop mosquitoes from biting you, and when mosquitoes don't bite, they don't spread disease from one person to another person. One most common reason of mosquito breeding is standing water. Whenever you are having stagnation of standing water, whether it's present inside your home or outside your home, that stagnant water acts as a breeding place for the mosquitoes. Then, introducing fishes in ponds that feed on mosquito larvae, spraying of insecticides in ditches, draining areas, and swamps, they reduce the growth of the vector. Doors and windows, you can prevent the entering of mosquito through doors and windows by placing wire mesh. And common examples of vector, common examples of diseases that are caused by vector are malaria, dengue, etc. etc. There are certain types of diseases. The first type of disease is infectious disease. The second type is contagious. The third one is foodborne, then communicable, then non-communicable, then airborne, then lifestyle disease, then mental disorders, then organic disease, and then waterborne disease. Infectious disease, I told you earlier what is infectious and what is contagious disease. Foodborne disease are the disease which are spread or which are caused through your food. Communicable diseases are able to pass from one person to another, while non communicable diseases are not able to pass from one person to another. Airborne diseases are spread through air, while lifestyle diseases are the diseases that are caused through your abnormal lifestyle. Mental disorders are the disorders that are not physical but they are mental. Organic diseases are the diseases that are caused in living organisms. Waterborne diseases are the diseases that are spread through water. Now, infectious disease. Any disease caused by the presence of pathogen in the body is called an infectious disease. The main source of pathogens are soil, contaminated water, and infected animals, including other people. Infectious diseases are transmissible diseases or communicable diseases. It means they are able to transmit from one person to another. Comprise clinically evident illness, for example, characteristic medical signs or symptoms of the disease, resulting from the infection, presence, and growth of pathogenic biological agents in an individual or host organism. It means most of the infectious diseases are able to be diagnosed by the doctor. It means you feel some signs and symptoms that you are suffering from a particular disease. Agents of infectious disease are commonly bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungi, or other animals. Some examples of infectious diseases. The first one given in this table is caused by a virus, and the name of this disease is smallpox. Not only smallpox, but influenza, HIV/AIDS, and hepatitis B. All of these four diseases are caused by virus. Smallpox affects your skin, influenza affects your respiratory system, HIV affects your immune system. Immune system means your body defense system. This is the system that prevents your body from getting infected or from being ill. Hepatitis B affects your liver. Now, smallpox is transmitted through small droplets by coughing, by sneezing. Influenza is transmitted through direct contact, that is, by touching that particular person, remaining in close vicinity, or by using the utensils of that particular person. HIV/AIDS is only transmitted through body fluids. It is not transmitted through droplets or it is not transmitted through direct contact. Hepatitis B is also transmitted through body fluids. So, uh, when you donate blood in a blood bank, then you might have observed that your blood is being checked for these diseases, because there are certain diseases that are spread through body fluid. Hepatitis B and AIDS is an example of are examples of such diseases. Now, tetanus, strep throat, and tuberculosis are caused by bacteria. Tetanus affects your nervous system, while tuberculosis affects your respiratory system. Tetanus is transmitted through puncture wound, while tuberculosis is transmitted through droplets. We can reduce the spread of infectious diseases. The common ways to stop or to reduce the infectious diseases are vaccines, antimicrobial drugs, good personal hygiene and sanitation, protection against mosquitoes, and the last one, I hope so you are quite familiar with it, is quarantine. You might have observed that small kids are vaccinated. It is for making them strong or making them resistant against certain diseases. Antimicrobial drugs means these drugs stop the action of certain microorganisms. Good personal hygiene and sanitation means you totally eliminate a factor for the spread of diseases. You keep your surrounding clean, you keep the washrooms clean, you keep yourself clean. That all comes under good personal hygiene and sanitation, and it is a very good way to stop the spread of infectious diseases. Then the protection against mosquito means you use mosquito you use mosquito net, and you use wire mesh to protect your windows and doors from mosquitoes, and you use certain what we can say, you use certain sort of chemical means. For example, you use mortine, etc., for protection against mosquitoes. And quarantine means not going outside or isolating yourself from other people so as to reduce the spread of an infectious disease. Tuberculosis is a very common disease. although although human beings are quite able to reduce the risks of that particular disease, and human beings are able to control this disease to a larger extent, but still this disease is considered a common disease. The microorganism which causes this disease is called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and this disease affects your respiratory system, most commonly your lungs. This disease is spread from one person to another person through droplets from a cough or sneeze by an infected person. Tuberculosis or TB is a contagious infection. Contagious infection means it is a disease that spreads from one person to another person. It usually attacks your lungs. It can spread to other parts of your body like your brain and spine. A type of bacteria, and the name of this bacteria is called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, causes it. In the early 20th century, TB was a leading cause of death in the United States. Today, most cases are cured with antibiotics, but it takes a long time. You have to take medicines for at least 6 to 9 months to cure yourself from that disease. One more factor is to be controlled for curing the person which is suffering from tuberculosis. A person that is suffering from tuberculosis must be placed away from pollution so that his respiratory system faces less stress and is able to heal quickly. Symptoms of this disease are a cough that lasts more than 3 weeks, chest pain, blood in your coughing, feeling tired all the time, night sweats, chills, fever, loss of appetite, and weight loss. Now, who's most at risk? The people who live in, come from, or have spent time in country or area with high levels of TB, because it's a contagious disease and it can spread from one person to another person. Around 3 in every 4 TB cases in UK affect people born outside the UK. In prolonged close contact with someone who is infected. If you are present near a person who is infected with TB, then there are higher chances that you will also get that disease. Living in a crowded condition, because in those crowded conditions, mostly personal hygiene is not being taken care of with a condition that weakens their immune system, such as diabetes. If you are suffering from any disease that weakens your immune system, it means your defense system is not able to protect yourself from the germs of other diseases, and TB is one of that disease. Having treatments that weaken the immune system, such as chemotherapy or biological agents, who are very young or very old. When you are very young, then your immunity has not developed to a large extent, and when you are very old, then again your immune system is not stronger. In poor health or with a poor diet, because your diet is directly related to your health, because of lifestyle and other problems such as drug misuse, alcohol misuse, or homelessness. So, all of the people who are having one or more of these factors, which are stated in this slide, are at higher risk. What can we do to prevent ourselves from this disease? Take all of your medicines as they are prescribed until your doctor takes you off them. Keep all your doctor appointments. Always cover your mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Seal the tissue in a plastic bag, throw it away. You have to seal it in plastic bag so that the germs might not fly or might not travel from one place to another. Wash your hands after coughing or sneezing. Don't visit other people and don't invite them to visit you, because there is a person who is suffering from TB, and that disease can spread from one person to another person. Stay home from work, school, or other public places. Use a fan or open windows to move around fresh air, and don't use public transportation. Use your own transport or walk. You are not advised to use public transportation because there are many people who are present in public transport, and in that condition, the germs of the disease might spread from one person to another. Okay, girls, that's all of today of this week's planning, and I hope so that you have well understood the introduction of this chapter. We have just read the introduction of microorganisms and diseases, and we have read about only one disease. The assignment which you are going to do, the assignment which you are going to do at the end of the week is write a detailed note on TB, its causative agent, methods of spread, and prevention. At the end, I have given the names of two websites, two YouTube videos. You can visit these YouTube videos to make the concept clear of microorganisms as well as TB. I hope all the ambiguities are removed and you are able to understand the introduction as well as the disease of tuberculosis very well. If still you feel any difficulty, you can contact me on my phone number. You can get the number from your uh, WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.